Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to provide an update on the Cyclone Assistance Relief Effort, or CARE, for Fiji program that was announced by the Honourable Prime Minister last month. CARE for Fiji, Madam Speaker, was designed to assist affected Fijians in the aftermath of TC Kenny and Josie and the massive flooding in the Western and Northern Division, and there was some damage caused by winds. Madam Speaker, the two back-to-back cyclones and the severe flooding around the country were yet another stark reminder of how vulnerable we are to climate change and natural disasters. We lost 8 Fijian lives, and over 150,000 Fijians were affected with damages sustained to infrastructure, public utilities, homes and household items, crops, livestock, including, of course, crops in the sugarcane. Madam Speaker, we would like to thank all government officials who worked tirelessly around the clock to ensure immediate relief is provided to affected families in the form of food rations, clean water, sanitation services and other everyday essentials. Government provided a total of 43,735 ration packs in the affected areas. Each pack contained 5 kilograms of flour, 4 cans of tuna, 500 grams of salt, 2 kilograms of sugar, 2 bathing soap, 1 pack washing powder, 750 mils of cooking oil, 4 kilograms of rice, 100 grams of curry powder, 1 kilogram of split peas, 300 grams of milk powder, 50 tea bags, and 3 packs of breakfast crackers. The total cost of these ration packs the last figures was $1.9 million, Madam Speaker. Of course, there were other things provided, as highlighted by Honourable Samisoni. We also gave kerosene stoves, where people could have their stoves washed away, over 1,000 stoves, Madam Speaker, and they were very critical and essential. Madam Speaker, I don't think our carbon footprint would have increased dramatically because we gave out 1,000 kerosene stoves. We also gave out things like buckets and mattresses, etc., Madam Speaker. We'd also like to thank Fijians, including those residing abroad, business houses, religious bodies, and charitable organizations that join hands in providing relief during this trying time. Madam Speaker, to assist affected Fijians, the Honourable Prime Minister on 30th of April announced a comprehensive relief package by the Fijian government. One was Care for Fiji, another Care for Fiji program, which includes homes care, farms care, sugarcane care, leaseholders care, welfare care, and e-transport care. Last but not least, of course, was Kandavu care, which is currently being finalized. All of these have been rolled out, and implementation on the ground is progressing well, Madam Speaker. In fact, Honourable Assistant Minister Vian Pillay and Minister Vuniwanga, the reason why they're absent from Parliament is because they're actually out in the field to ensure that the rollout of these initiatives are being carried out with integrity, and indeed we are responding to the needs of the ordinary Fijian citizens. Mr. Speaker, just information on the e-transport care. The e-transport care was the first initiative to be rolled out and was specifically designed to assist affected Fijians to ease the burden of increased bus trips to, for example, restore home supplies, visit families, loved ones, and to access other assistance provided under Care for Fiji. For example, they had to visit the DO's office, etc. Fijians were given up to 1 month to register for the e-transport care, which will cease on the 21st of May, which is next week. As of yesterday, Madam Speaker, 202,368 Fijians have been assisted under the e-transport care. This includes 183,826 adults receiving a $50 top-up, and another 18,542 students topped up with $25, Madam Speaker. So far, Madam Speaker, government has spent $9.65 million in this assistance, and of course it has meant, as highlighted earlier on when responding to the questions regarding e-ticketing, was that many Fijians have actually moved over from using disposable cards to the permanent cards. Under home care, Madam Speaker, it was designed to assist households with annual income below $50,000 who have lost items in their homes or whose homes were damaged or destroyed in the cyclones. These households are provided prepaid electronic cards through Vodafone with values of $1,000, $1,500, $3,000, and $7,000 to purchase materials to repair their homes and replace possessions that were lost or badly damaged, including white goods, electrical appliances, furniture, bedding, curtains, and everyday household items and utensils. We, of course, have visited many of these homes where people have completely lost everything or has been completely damaged beyond use. Government approved, Madam Speaker, 16 vendors where these prepaid cards can be redeemed. These include GS Industrial Supplies, Autocare Fiji Limited, Kasabi's Limited, Home and Living, Vinod Patel Subrail's Company, Long-Term Manufacturers Limited, Roops Investment Limited, which is Roops Big Bear, Complete Home and Building, RB Patel Group Limited, Visions Investment Limited, Harun's Hardware, Reki Hardware, New World, Carpenters Hardware, Homemaker, and RC Monobai. As of yesterday, Madam Speaker, 23,896 households under Homes Care have been assisted at a cost of $29.17 million. Out of this, Madam Speaker, only 56 households were actually eligible for the $7,000 payout, as their homes were either totally destroyed or suffered severe structural damage. Their homes, for example, went to in Ba, where logs actually went through one wall and went through the other wall, and they're no longer structurally sound. Of course, only of this were 46 homes. A further 1,613 households received $3,000 for partial structural damage, such as roof being blown away or collapsed wall. It also included homes that were not severely damaged, but all or most of their possessions were lost or damaged by flood waters. The bulk of the affected households, 18,799, received $1,000, which included homeowners that suffered water damage and had some possessions lost or damaged, Madam Speaker. Apart from this, Madam Speaker, 3,428 households under Vaka Vanua arrangements were assisted with $1,500, where their homes were either destroyed or severely damaged, because obviously you cannot give the full amounts because they have Vaka Vanua arrangements, in other words, very temporary arrangements. Madam Speaker, the assistance on the Homes Care is ongoing at the moment, and we're doing what we call a final sweep. And the Ministry is today serving affected Fijians at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. I've just been receiving photographs of it. The lines are quite long. The team will then move to Prince Charles Park in Nandi on Thursday, and we'll be at Shirley Park in Lautoka on Friday. And next week, the team will be in Bar Market Grounds in Reki, FSC Grounds on Monday and Tuesday. Respectively, these centres will operate from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to assist those who may be working, in the hotel industry, for example, and they cannot go during work hours. The full schedule has been published in the Fiji Sun, has been announced in RF1 and RF2, Madam Speaker. Farm Care, Madam Speaker. The cyclones and the flood generally greatly affected the agricultural sector, with major damage to cash crops and livestock. Government, through Farm Care Initiative, provided immediate assistance to farmers to help in restoring local supply of crops and vegetables and stabilize prices. Ministerial Agriculture officials have been visiting various locations in affected areas to assist farmers. As of yesterday, Madam Speaker, Government has assisted a total of 30,697 farmers with a total cost of $15.3 million. Out of this, Madam Speaker, 601 fully commercial farmers or large-scale commercial farmers were assisted with prepaid cards. It's the first time the Ministry of Agriculture is doing this. We have a number of suppliers of seeds and seedlings. And of course, for example, we visited some farms, for example, up Singatoka Valley. Some farms were affected far more than others. Some had, for example, the entire crops blown down, for example, large-scale pawpaw plantations. Others had sort of, over 1, 2, 3 feet of sedimentation. So obviously, if the Ministry of Agriculture went out and gave the seeds now to all of them, not all of them would be able to use it. And the seeds could actually rot depending on the availability of those farms once they've been cleared. So the result of which the Ministry of Agriculture has given out cards where they can actually go and buy at their leisure and will, as and when they require the seeds, Madam Speaker. Further, 2,518 small farmers were, small-scale commercial farmers were provided with $1,200, and the remaining 27,578 small-scale subsistence farmers were assisted with prepaid cards ranging from $150 to $1,000, depending on the extent of damage. And of course, Ministry of Agriculture did give out things like cassava tops, dalo tops, etc. Sugarcane care, Madam Speaker. Government is also providing assistance to all our sugarcane farmers under the sugarcane care scheme, Madam Speaker. The sugarcane care program will provide affected sugarcane farmers with fertilizer for rehabilitation of damaged cane plants planted late last year, because obviously they've used the fertilizer, they need more now in order to get it back up, including clearing of debris, waterways and infield drainage repairs, and clearing repairs to cane access roads, crossings, bridges, and crop replanting. Madam Speaker, to date, a total of 5,678 forms have been assessed. The FSC and Ministry of Sugar Industry have conducted field verification of 4,212 farmers, which is about approximately 75%, and the rest will be completed by the end of the week. Madam Speaker, most of the requests for assistance from the farmers are for cane access roads, culverts, infield drainage, and of course the huge debris that's been left over in some of the farms. And the crossings and fertilizer input obviously is very, very important too, Madam Speaker. In the Rarawai mill area was the most badly affected area because that included Ba and the area surrounding it. Leaseholders care, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for leaseholders care, all households leasing itauke or state land for residential or agricultural purposes with incomes less than $50,000 and were affected by the recent cyclones will be assisted by government with 1 year lease payment for them. This will of course increase the burden of carrying out lease payments. Fijians have been registering for this assistance at the various legal aid offices around the country. They have to go and make the declarations there. As we know now that we have legal aid offices in every major urban centre in Fiji. Government will assess these applications and liaise with the Itauke Lands Trust Board and Ministerial Lands for the payments to be made, Madam Speaker. Welfare care, Madam Speaker, through the Ministry of Children, Women and Poverty Alleviation, we have provided an additional 1 month top-up to 13,161 social welfare recipients who were affected by the cyclones and the floods. A total of $1.14 million has been used for this assistance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, of course, coupled with this, we had the Fiji National Provident Fund, who also assisted the members in affected areas with up to $1,000 cash depending on the member's balance. You could get up to $1,000, but some of the members' balance was less than that, so they got less than $1,000. This, of course, complements the assistance provided by Care for Fiji. To date, 13,540 members have been assisted with a value of $11.3 million. Madam Speaker, the other point that I also wanted to highlight was about Kandavu. As we know that we've also given out food ration packs there. The FRA fixed up the jetty so the ships, etc., could get into the place. We've distributed clothes, and a couple of the schools were damaged. We provided tents for them. And of course, Madam Speaker, we have a whole new package which will be announced, including agricultural assistance in the next week, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Care for Fiji program is designed to provide targeted assistance to affected Fijians who generally suffered losses, damage in the recent disasters. As of yesterday, total assistance provided under Care for Fiji stood at $55.3 million. We have our audit teams from the Ministry of Economy, Madam Speaker, undertaking random verification spot audits for households and individuals. We want to ensure that there is no abuse and assistance is only provided to those that deserve to be assisted. We also have a toll-free line where Fijians can dial 2273 and anonymously also report suspected abuse of this program. We have actually found some people who have done it. They've actually gone off to the elections office and changed their address. So the address actually sits in an area where there was a flood, and then they've gone off and say, I live in area X, and therefore I should be given the assistance. We've already had a couple of people. They'll soon be charged, Madam Speaker, because the audit teams have already gone out. It was interesting. I received a Viber message from Honourable Guniwanga, where in Lawanga Park today, she said that people are lining up, and some were saying that we're here to, collect it on behalf of my father or mother or grandfather who's sick because they're bedridden and they cannot come. So then the teams have said to them, okay, let's go to their house, and then they've suddenly disappeared from the line. So I would urge, Madam Speaker, all Fijians who are going to queue up and try and apply for this assistance, please don't try and trick the system. We'll catch up with you eventually. And Madam Speaker, we've also, we want to remind them also, Madam Speaker, through this Parliament, that they all have to sign a statutory declaration under the False Information Act 2016. Any false information given to government for the purpose of receiving the benefit is an offence, punishable by law, and will result in a requirement to pay the benefit, a fine of up to $20,000 or an imprisonment term for up to 10 years, Madam Speaker. So I urge everybody, please do not abuse the system. We cannot afford to have that happening, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are now, however, going to provide an amnesty period for 2 weeks. So essentially we're saying to anybody that if you have actually taken a card under false pretenses, we're going to give you 2 weeks to return the card. If you incorrectly applied for assistance, come and give back the card. We had the Honourable Prime Minister was telling us a story before he left. He said some lady called up and said that, oh, my husband applied, but I applied also, but we have not been talking to each other for the past couple of weeks, that's why we applied separately. So she said, "Oh, can I keep the card?" She can't keep the card. We are giving them 2 weeks to return all the cards that you have illegally obtained or illegally made false declarations. Please return them. Otherwise, the team's actually out. We've got Pankaj Singh from Ministry of Economy is heading the team and does the audits. They're out in the field to ensure that we go and do not only random checks, but also at the various centres where they're going to collect those cards from. So, Madam Speaker, this is an update on the Care for Fiji program, as highlighted. To date, we've spent $55.29 million in this respect. But I'd like to finish off, Madam Speaker, is that no government can continue to do this year in, year out. And we have, Madam Speaker, of course, this is the first time such initiatives have been undertaken, but we are, as highlighted to Parliament previously, that we are currently working with the World Bank and the ADB team in developing various insurance products, where we can get what we call some basic cover, so households can be covered. As you know, in this year's budget, we made a budgetary allocation to pay premiums up to about $1 million for household insurance and also about $300,000 for crop insurance. And we are very close to developing a product for household insurance, and we are willing to, of course, pay for the premiums for those low-income families. And this is how, for example, it started in countries like India, where the Indian government, for example, got into the space of providing crop insurance. And we're also looking at crop insurance, what we call parametric crop insurance. So you don't have to individually go and assess each farm, but you say, if, for example, floodwaters go above a particular height, then everybody in that area will be paid out a particular sum of money. Similarly, with the homes, we have to ensure that to get the insurance is not an onerous requirement, but you need to meet some basic standards, and then we can get the cover, which will actually be good for the citizens also. It will also be good for government and put less pressure on the budget requirements. However, Madam Speaker, I can reassure the House that we have enough fat, as I've said, within the budget to be able to pay for these unexpected expenses. And again, we'd like to thank everybody that's been involved, including all the civil servants and all the members of the civil society who have come forward and assisted, and of course the business houses. Thank you, Madam Speaker.